Little nippy indoors as well, but got the jacket on. Indoors as well, but got the jacket on. We're above the floor. Doesn't heat rise? I think that's what they say. And some good basketball on the floor beneath. The Tigers taking on the Coyotes. Tigers decked out in gold, coming in with a 4-4 mark. Their first conference game of the year against an MMI squad that can score a lot of points, but allows a lot of points too. They come in with an 0-11 mark. The only conference game happened against Snead State. They lost it in OT. Opening tip controlled by the Coyotes, who've got Brittany Polk-Reed, Gerard Living, Elijah Lewis, Gabe Stevens, and William Page on the floor to begin things. Into the corner it goes to Page, puts up the 2 off the rim. Reed with it, trying to turn around and get a put-back look, tipped away, but there is a foul. MMI starting Darren Thompson Jr., Xavier Butler, Jaquavius Wallace, Katavion Jefferson, Jamarcus Williams, and Malik Owens. And I mentioned this MMI squad scores a lot of points, number 2 in the conference. And they have got 3 of the top 4 scorers in D2 basketball in the ACCC. However, on the other hand, they allow 103 a night. Over to Reed. Eventually into the hands of Stevens. Shot clock dwindling. Stevens leans in off the rim. And it is rebounded by Thompson. Got a whistle, got a foul. It'll be the first call on the Coyotes. And I believe that was charged to Page. Another whistle. We're what, a minute 18 into this one? And 3 whistles, 1 on one end of the floor and 2 on the other. Thompson to put it in play from the baseline. Gets it into Butler. And Butler's got the first points of the game. So MMI taking the early lead in this one. Page to Stevens. Living with the screen. Stevens spin move. Back over to Living. Into the paint. Ties it up with a miniature skyhook. Two apiece, a couple of minutes in. Thompson picking up the dribble. Top side give to Wallace. Wallace off the glass, not there. Teammates battling for boards, and Page has got it. Feeds into the paint. There is a walk prior to the Living 2. Tigers in possession. And great to have you watching basketball tonight, a 3-game week. Just a single game tonight. There is no ladies MMI team. And you got to walk. That is Butler taking an extra step. So as a result, no doubleheader tonight. Just the single men's game. Lewis out of the corner to Page, over to Reed. Led Living just a little too much, brings it back under the hoop, loses it. And it was dribbled out of bounds by Jeffries. As I mentioned, MMI sporting 3 of the top 4 scorers in the league. Of course, another part of that logic, not to take anything away from the scorers, obviously, very good double-digit contributors nightly, but they do not have a particularly deep bench. So, not a means by which to spread the wealth around. Page to Lewis. Pulls up from outside of the paint, in and out. Down with the rebound is Jeffrey, stolen away by Stevens. Off the glass for two. And the Coyotes will claim their first lead tonight. Drive to the glass, a whistle and a foul. And Jeffries, the #1 scorer in the ACCC. D2, 23.5 points a night going to the stripe. With aspirations to knot it up at 4. A 60% free throw shooter on a 63% free throw shooting team. 1 of 2 goes Jeffries. Page flips it over to Lewis. 3-ball in and out. Living trying to tip it back in. It is wrapped up by Jeffries. Rejected. Reed saves it. Lewis has it. Tipped out of bounds. And it was tipped out of bounds by Butler. Officials discussing, got the MMI coach pleading that it was hit last by a Coyote. And the officials confer, and indeed, the official agrees. So it will be Tiger basketball. Brought in from the side nearest the Coyote bench. Jeffries had to go back and get it. 3-ball off the rim. Lewis with the rebound, goes over to Page. Into the paint, flips it to Lewis. Jumper from about 6 feet out from Page. Seven of the 11 that have taken on MMI thus far this year have scored better than 100 points. And you've got a foul called on Thompson. And it looks like it nullifies the bucket. 15-24 left to play in half number 1. Coyotes 2-1 on top of the Tigers.
We are the Pack. We are Coyotes. We are Coastal Alabama. This is where you'll thrive.
Coyotes basketball coming out of the timeout. Into the corner it goes to Ozel Purifoy, who is checked into the game. And by the way, the bucket prior to the foul and prior to the timeout did count for MMI. Turned it briefly into a 1-point game. Butler Ozell takes it, goes to the other end of the floor, got the bucket, and drew the foul. And Purifoy, who just checked into the ballgame, making an early impact. He had his first bucket, his second bucket, now goes to the line with an opportunity for three. And a quick 5 points coming in. Nope, in and out, 4 total for Purifoy. Loose ball and is retrieved by a new face on the floor. Haven't seen DeAndre take Washington in a while, and that is because he has been out due to an injury. But in now and scores immediately. And he was pretty prolific at scoring when in for those 3 games, 17 per. As Jaquavius Wallace goes to the stripe. First shot good for Wallace. He makes both. It's a 5-point game. Into the game, Elijah Pippins. Down low it goes to Washington. Missed the first, misses the second. And fouled on the putback attempt is Reginald Como. Also Joshua Whitehurst into the game. So your current Coyotes, all newcomers. Pippins, Whitehurst, Como, Washington, and Purifoy. Washington in those 3 games, a 67% free throw shooter. Of course, this is Como, who has been even better in his 4 games, 90% at the line. Goes 1 of 2. Given over to Jeffries. Turns near the elbow, shoots over Whitehurst. Bourne belongs to Como. Pippins fires it down the floor. Pippins into the corner. Whitehurst gives a look. Washington out front. He'll drop it in. Four in the game for Washington. 3-pointer dropped in by Wallace. Wallace, the number 3 scorer in the conference, 21 a game. Fed by Purifoy to where he thought Como was headed. Como wasn't headed there. And the Tigers will have it. They'll put it in for the baseline. Got a foul on the floor on the Thompson drive. That'll be charged to Como. Non-shooting foul. Adrian Giles with a miss. Purifoy on the other end of the floor. Got the bucket, drew the foul. And Purifoy already with 6. Looking for his 7th. A reminder, we are back here on Saturday. Florida Gateway coming to town. And also on Saturday, Coastal South basketball. So we will have both for you right here on JockJive. That is Childs again. The miss picked up by Whitehurst. Whitehurst, the number one scorer on this Coyote team, into the corner to Purifoy. That is Washington off the rim with a 3 try. And there's a body on the floor. Let's see if a foul put him there. And that is going to be charged to Thompson. And it'll bring us to the media timeout. 7-point Coyote lead. Better than 8 minutes into the game.
You've started this journey by yourself, but you won't have to go it alone. Because now you're a part of something, a community that wants you to succeed, thrive. We don't care where you've been, only where you're going and how we can help you get there. Here, instead of getting lost in the crowd, you'll discover found family, fellow travelers, Coyotes. You'll experience new possibilities and emerge stronger, more knowledgeable, together. That's the Pack. That's Coastal Alabama. This is where you'll thrive.
Put in play from the baseline, from the corner. Whitehurst with a miss on the 3. Off the glass, put back good. It's a 5-point game. Coyotes trying to go unbeaten in conference play. Their first one of the year. These are the games that matter. Not that the others don't, but from a conference standing, from a seeding process, these are it. Complete swap over, the 5 on the floor taken out and 5 new ones in for the Coyotes. And man, you talk about depth. This is 5 new ones. So you're talking about 9 minutes into the game, and we have seen 15 different Coyotes. Javian Duncan, Jonathan Fitch, Xander Stevens, Trey Durant, and Alterius Beasley on the floor. So we have seen 3 sets of 5 for the Coyotes. Off the glass with the Malik Owens, too. And it's a 3-point game. Little battle between Durant and Adrian Childs. Childs picking up the foul. Coming up at halftime, it is the JUCO Rush. JUCO Rush is a program all about junior college football. And in JUCO, you got the Final Four. Semifinals coming up this weekend. Iowa Western taking on Northwest Mississippi. Or is it Northeast Mississippi? It's a team out in the north part of Mississippi. And Georgia Military College tangling with Hutch. program's about a half hour long, but we've downsized it to fit into halftime. So that's what we've got coming up. Roughly 10 basketball minutes from now. Stevens to Duncan. Looks back to Stevens. Instead, the give goes to Fitch. Duncan with 5 on the shot clock. And the buzzer sounds to end 30 seconds prior to the Durant shot. So it stays a 2-point game, but does not stay in the hands of the Coyotes. It is Tiger possession. Drive to the hoop. Shot no good for Wallace, but there was a reason, a foul committed by Stevens. Wallace will shoot, 9:31 to play. Half number 1. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and Blue Sky. Just made our first Blue Sky post today. And also subscribe to our YouTube channel. We need 19 to hit 5,400. So if you haven't already subscribed, it would just delight us if you did. Fitch with a miss. Top of the key 3 off the mark is Jeffries. Picked up by Duncan. Back into the corner to Duncan. Durant's got it. Gives over to Beasley. Fitch pulling up near the elbow. Just a little wide left. And that'll be tipped out of bounds by the Tigers. Coyotes maintaining possession. Put in play by Durant. Durant drives into the paint, feeds over to Stevens. And there will be a Tiger foul. That is going to be charged to Thompson. Stevens, a 16% free throw shooter on a 64% free throw shooting team. The 5th best in the ACCC. You got the 5 and 6 teams in free throw shooting. Rebounded by Fitch, but then tipped out of bounds by Giles. And Durant to put it in play from the baseline. Durant working in left side, reaching from the backside to try to tip it away Thompson. And Thompson picks up another foul. So Durant will shoot. This is the front end of the 1-and-1, but there for the putback. Beasley, no good with shot number 2. Loose ball. Stevens and Owens battling. And the possession arrow will take us to the other end of the floor and become Tiger basketball. Well, you know it, when you're looking for an offensive Donnybrook, you get a defensive struggle thus far. Now the number 2 scoring team in the ACCC in MMI, and a struggling defense, so you could be looking for a lot of points tonight. Don't have that yet. Between the two, not 40. There is a walk. And that'll be Duncan, the guilty party. And that will take us to yet another media timeout. The next to the last one in the half. 7:40 to go, half number 1. Coyotes hanging on to a 1-point lead.
You've started this journey by yourself, but you won't have to go it alone. Because now you're a part of something, a community that wants you to succeed, thrive. Here, you'll discover found family, fellow travelers, Coyotes. That's the Pack. That's Coastal Alabama.
Just a bit over 7.5 to go in the half. And a 1-point ball game. And that will go out of bounds. Starting 5 back into the game. Living, Reed, Stevens, as well as Page and Lewis for the Coyotes. They've been substituting per quintets. That'll go into the corner. Back and goes to Page. Gives down low to Living. Living into the paint. And he will be hit on the forearm by Owens. Living averaging 7 a game. 79% free throw shooter. On Tuesdays, Coastal Alabama is 1-1. MMI is 0-2. And there is a foul on the Jeffries drive. Jeffries, as I mentioned, number 1 scorer in the league, 23.5 points a game. Tigers coming in with an 0-1 conference mark. That lone outing against Snead State that went to OT before the Parsons won at 95-93. Screen set by Reed. Page into the corner. Then it's Lewis. 3-ball dropped in. That'll make that lead feel a little more comfortable. Lost in the paint. Page had it. Trying to save it to Lewis. It is taken right back by Wallace, and Wallace will put it up and in for 2. Living to Stevens. Lewis directing Stevens down low and then gives top side to Living. Living into the paint. Off the rim. Rebound belongs to Wallace. But it goes to Berrien, who has checked into the ball game for the Tigers. Check that. That was Thompson. I don't know that we've had a substitution yet for the Tigers. And you got to walk. There are a couple of guys over on the sidelines, but the two are Butler and Williams. So, yeah, we've had some substitutions. Knocked down from near the elbow by Wallace. And we're knotted up at 23. Page with it out front. Brings it into the paint. Over to Reed. Reed, long two, too long. Living able to snag the rebound. Nearly taken away from the backside by Cooper. Into the corner, Stevens for three. Loose ball, Page has got it. Stevens into the paint, off the glass, 2 consecutive possessions finished by Stevens. And 5 unanswered Coyote points. Give it to Owens. Owens an air ball on the 3 try. And that will go out of bounds. Whitehurst into the game. Purifoy. Pippins. Como and Washington. Washington with it, brings it inside, shifts to the left hand. And that is 7 straight from the Coyotes. Into the paint. And there is a foul and a 1-and-1. And I was thinking we had immediate timeout inside 4. But maybe not. Well, if we do, we aren't this time. Well, there we go. Thought we were going to have one of those. Immediate timeout with 3:35 to play.
There once was a young coyote.
You're fired.
He found himself ill-suited for the jobs of the world. He struggled to compete in the corporate environment.
Yeah, this isn't working out.
And failed at the simplest of tasks.
I think I'm gonna have to let you go.
No matter how hard he tried, his coyote hands were just not meant for regular jobs.
That guy is fired.
Until one day, when he was hired for the perfect job. To become a mascot. And then he found the place where he could thrive. Find the place where you thrive at Coastal Alabama Community College.
Butler missing the front end of the 1-and-1. And it is Coyote basketball. There is a foul on the Coyote end of the floor, and that is going to be charged to Washington. So Washington committing the personal. Thompson putting it in play. Pippins to the other end of the floor. Purifoy with 2. And the Coyotes extend that string of unanswered points to 9. That is Thompson. Rebounded by Washington. Purifoy. Out front to Pippen. Whitehurst trying to get it to Washington. It is stolen away by Wallace. And there is a foul that will have the Tigers shooting. And it is Thompson trying to snap this run of Coyote points, currently at 9. And at least for the moment stays at 9 straight. That went in, and the 9-0 run ends. 1 of 2 will go Thompson. Well, and obviously my camera tripod is going a little quirky on me. We'll try to get that straightened out for you. I've mentioned previously I'm a one-man band, so play-by-play, camera, scoring, and when there are equipment issues, try to resolve them. All on the fly, which of course means that the only thing it means really is that if there is a sour note hit with a one-man band, you know the guy. You know who hit the sour note. There we go. Maybe we've got the tripod a little better. I'll work on it at halftime. It's got a wee bit of a mind of its own. Jeffrey shooting. Stolen away by the Tigers. And there was a foul as that one comes off the rim. Foul committed by the Tigers and takes us to the other end of the floor with 1:09 to play in the half. Giving over to Thompson. Thompson bringing it to the left side. Inside of the arc goes Giles. Long two, not long enough. Coyotes with it. Purifoy laying it in from the left side. Jumper off the rim for Butler. Down to Washington, an easy 2 in the lead, 12. Coyotes scoring 14 of 16 after the game was tied up at 23. Living, misfiring at the buzzer, but there was a lot of stuff firing in those last few moments of play. There's the Coyotes. Turn it into a 12-point lead when it was tied at 23. It is halftime. We promised you the halftime feature, JUCO Rush. All about junior college football. It's an edited version, the version in its entirety available on YouTube.
And welcome into the JUCO Rush. I'm Mike Fraser from downtown Chicago. He's Robert Williamson, Florella, Alabama. Robert, good evening.
Good evening, Mike. How is it in Chicago?
It's good, man. The NJCAA football poll, the playoff poll came out today, and man, it is now set. Well, we knew who the 4 teams were, Robert. It was just a matter of who was going to sit in the 2 slot, who was going to sit in the 3 slot.
Do you want to see those polls?
Let's see.
Are you really interested in what happened? You know, who's 1 through 4, who's 1 through 15?
Been waiting to get to this moment since August.
All right, let's do it then. There you go.
Georgia Military moves up to the 2 slot. Hutch moves to 3. Robert, that's a huge difference just from a weather pattern standpoint. Think about it. If you're Hutch, you're playing that game in December. It's on a good day. If you catch the weather right, it's 30 degrees with the wind out of the north at 15. Now you go down to Milledgeville, Georgia. It's going to be 65 degrees and partly cloudy.
It is definitely going to be different. Hey, can I do a little bit of this? Did you notice that those 4 teams were all 1-loss teams? No 2-loss teams. Did you notice that every one of those 4 teams had at least a loss? I mean, did you happen to notice that?
You called it. You called it.
It does reinforce, it validates that blind chipmunk and an acorn theory. It does kind of validate that.
Yeah, but one thing, hey, listen, luck is the residue of hard work. So there you go. I'm going to pat you on the back even more.
Well,
all right.
I asked
the one and only time. The one and only time. Hey, you were right. No, you called it. I said a 2-loss team when the season started would get in. It didn't happen. Came close, but it didn't happen. They got it in. Your thoughts? You surprised that the committee moved Georgia Military to 2 after they were 3 last week?
I thought it was the right thing to do. Now, you might recall last week I said, let me kind of hold back on the vitriol until we get to this poll, because I knew there were some different dynamics where this poll was concerned as compared to the prior, 11 or so. So I think it was right. I think the pollsters got it right. And I will say, even if Georgia Military had not been the number 2 team, this is an imperfect science, but I think they have done and tried to do as well as they possibly can, come up with a method by which to rank these teams in a fair and orderly process. And that would have been whether Georgia Military was 2 or not, but I think they deserve that spot.
You know, the committee is never going to please all the people all the time. I thought they did an outstanding job. they really avoided the big locomotive a few weeks ago of multiple 2-loss teams. And who do you put in, a Navarro or an East Central if there was a 2-loss team? But you'll see on my poll, if I was a voter, I would have slotted Hutch at number 2. And matter of fact, there they are. And again, no disrespect to Georgia Military, none to Rob Manchester. I just think Hutch, for me, based on the eye test and strength of schedule, I think they get my vote as the number 2 team, Georgia Military 3, Northwest 4. Note this, Robert, on Northwest, how big was that Hail Mary against Holmes? How does that stand now? Northwest wins that game on a Hail Mary 50-yard touchdown pass. Remember, they lost their first game out of the year to an unranked Pearl River team who was never ranked in the top 20 or the top 15 in the NJCAA or the JUCO Rush poll. Robert, that turned out to be a huge play that propelled Northwest into the postseason.
Behind every successful team and season, there is a little bit of good luck. There was a lot of bit of good luck against Holmes on that particular night. And yeah, that Hail Mary turns into a Northwest win. Heck, they're not a number 4 team. They're not in if that Hail Mary is not complete. It was, and they are.
And you're right. And they get in there. So the 4 teams are set. I would put a Hutch number 2. You've got them at number 3. The committee voted as a group that Hutch is the number 3 team, and they'll have to go on the road to take on Rob Manchester and the Bulldogs. And that game is an afternoon. It's a matinee affair on December the 8th. Iowa Western on December 7th will entertain Northwest. And, man, again, Council Bluffs in December, going to be cold. But look, East Mississippi went in there last year and beat Hutchinson in a cold weather game. So I think I don't think that's going to affect Benji. And look, they've got a beast back there in the running game. I mean, a Demarion Petit, this guy is just tough as nails. So I don't think the weather plays a factor. I mean, of course, if there's a snowstorm or some sort, but the temperature is not going to stop Northwest. This is a tough football team. And Scott Strohmeyer will tell you, Iowa Western has their work cut out for him in this matchup. And interesting, you look at Iowa Western at number 1, they're at home. They play the toughest schedule in the league, in my opinion, and their reward is the champ out of Mississippi, Northwest.
Yeah, and my top 6, almost identical to yours, with the exception, as you mentioned, Georgia Military. I've got 2, Hutch 3. This is starting to concern me a little bit, though, over the course of time now, 10 or 11 weeks of this show. Are you and I starting to think alike? That scares me a little bit, and it should scare the heck out of you.
Yeah, I know. Stunning that we agree on something, but you look at we don't agree on the 2 and 3 slot, but most other things we do. And you watch this long enough, a lot of things just happen to fall into place. I'll tell you what fell into place is my players of the week. How about the SWJCFC, the conference championship game? Congratulations to Navarro. They win that football game 31-28. What a game. 14-13 at the half. Then Navarro opens up a lead. Tanner Jacobson and the Apaches run a fake punt that goes for a touchdown. They're right back in it. It finishes 31-28. And Navarro, their 6th SWJCFC conference championship as they get it done. And my first, I'm staying in with 2 guys from Navarro. First, I'm going with my man Clay, the running back, 23 carries, 125 yards, and a touchdown. Also caught a couple of passes. He was instrumental in the Bulldogs' victory over the Apaches. And then I'm going with Tim Burns, 10 catches, 165 yards, and a touchdown. He was the go-to guy for quarterback Mason Shorb. He sat down with the JUCO Rush. And now joining us, Tim Burns, wide receiver for the Navarro Bulldogs, SWJCFC champs. Tim, I know that's got to sound good.
That sounds amazing.
This is the 6th title for Navarro in the 29-year history since going to this conference title and playing football and getting it done. That game was close, 31-28, but 14-13 at the break. Then you extend the lead. Then Tyler runs that fake punt. Man, a lot of drama. What was racing through the mind of you and the players on the sidelines when all of a sudden it became a real tight game fourth quarter?
We had a level head. Like, we understood that we came out slow and made the game harder than what it was. So going into halftime, we just came together as one and just spoke. Like we just kept everybody head up, let everybody know like we still good. You know, we still in this fight. The ball game's not over. Got 30 more minutes of football to play. Like, anything can happen at this point. We just gotta go back out there coming out to halftime and ball out.
Tim, you had a different quarterback at the start of the year, and then Mason Shorb comes in during, I think it was the blend game. Obviously, you and he clicked, but from your perspective, did it really matter who was at the helm?
Honestly, it did. I told both quarterbacks coming into the season, if y'all need help, I'm here to help. Whatever I can do, just make sure, give me the ball. I'm gonna help change the game, no matter how I need to do it.
You are from Miami, Florida. You're playing football in Corsicana. There's a little difference between Miami, Florida, and Corsicana, Texas. So how did you adjust to the different culture, and how has it affected you as a football player?
As far as adjusting to the culture, I just surrounded myself around people who either was from Texas or was from here, and they helped me, get along with it and see the different things to do out here, rather than me being from Miami. Well, there's a lot of things to do. And as far as adjusting, I did great with it, honestly.
Tim, as we talk with Tim Burns here on the JUCO Rush, Tim, your strength as a wide receiver, what's your best asset? Hands, speed, what is it?
I say speed. Speed kills. Get in and out of your breaks, in and out of your routes. Speed kills.
Who recruited you to Navarro?
Coach J.
And how did that process lead to you signing with the Bulldogs?
It was a long process, honestly, and they just stuck with it. They stuck with me, and I thank them so much for that. And they brought me in, and it's crazy because last year they brought me in as a DB, and I transitioned this year as a receiver. And Coach Patrick Hall, he developed me and helped me become what I am today.
The SWJCFC is well respected. How tough was it playing in that league? How did JUCO football mature you as a football player?
The conference itself was definitely tough. That's what I can say. Like, each game was not an easy game. Like, it wasn't I'm gonna come in and make sure, we're gonna come in and just manhandle this team. Like, each game was definitely a fight, and it was just the best team that won.
You look at the future for you. You guys are going to probably go to a bowl game.
Yes, sir.
Just your thoughts on that.
That's a blessing for all of us. That's more game, more things, more film, more team, more time to play with each other. Man, Coach Patrick makes practice hard for us. So no matter if it's a bowl game, a conference championship, a regular game, like, each and every week was practice. Make sure we come to practice. We start practice, the receiver corps started practice 30 minutes earlier. And we started 30 minutes earlier just to make sure we warmed up, we ready to go, everybody awaken, and we just, all as one as a unit.
You went up against Will Cornelson and Darian White the last week.
Yes, sir.
In that secondary. What was that experience like playing against those two talented guys?
They're very talented. That's what I can't give them. Those are some very talented guys. But us as a receiver corps, we just knew, like, coming into the game, no matter what, nobody can play with us. Honestly, that was our mindset throughout the whole year. We never seen a defense that could cover all of our guards, and we just knew, like, coming into this game, somebody, no matter who it was going to be able to have the opportunity and just shine.
What's next for you as we wrap up our conversation? After the bowl game, where are you headed next? As
of now, I won't display that now because I'm still weighing in options. But I definitely have something to say soon.
Tim, it was great watching you play this year. Congratulations on the title. Stay healthy in the bowl game.
Yes, sir.
And we wish you nothing but the best, young man.
Thank you.
All right, for Robert Williamson, I'm Mike Fraser. This has been the JUCO Rush. Thanks to our special guest, Tim Burns of Navarro, the wide receiver, and also the chair of the selection committee, Jake Ripple. We'll see you next week, everybody. So long.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back as we get second half action underway in a 37-25 contest. Coyotes going on a 9-0 tear after the game was tied at 23 and wound up scoring 14 of the 16 points past that juncture and are able to take a 12-point lead into the locker room at halftime. Same five that started the game. Starting half number 2 for the Coyotes. Reed, Stevens, Living, Lewis, and Page. All on the floor to begin half 2. And both teams with a bucket. Trading buckets here early in the second half. Living with the turnaround. Drawing the foul. First conference game of the year for the Coyotes. Second one of the season for the Tigers. As Living goes to the line. $15 different players for the Coyotes on the turf, or on the hardwood. I think we've wrapped up football this year. So I don't need to be talking turf anymore. We can talk about that in, about 8 or 9 months. But about 15 different guys onto the hardwood. Meanwhile, MMI with a total of 7. They have got 2 on their bench. Coyotes with 10 on their bench. Page leaving the ball behind and stripped by Butler. And there was a foul on the other end of the floor. MMI has allowed as many as 124 points. Etowama scored 124 on the Tigers. Their best defensive effort was 79 by Chandler Gilbert in a Florida tournament. But MMI still within range of putting together their best defensive performance. And if you're the Coyotes, the best point-wise was 90. Not saying they won't hit 90, but that's not likely. I won't say not possible. Dropped in from long range by Lewis. Of course, if you do that a number of times, you'll hit the 90. Stepping out of bounds with it is Butler. And by the way, that not hit 90 is not based on quality of play. It's just, if you're going to hit 90, you need to be somewhere around 45 and a half. They were at 37. It's reachable, but not great percentages. I mean, it's even probable. Well, I guess it's the range of probability we're talking about. 5 new Coyotes in. Purifoy, Pippen, Washington, Whitehurst, Como. Fadeaway, firing, hitting 2 is Wallace. It is interesting when the Coyotes are concerned that the substitutions have always been 5 at a time, and they've always been the same 5 at a time. Into the corner to Purifoy. Purifoy! He has probably been the most productive as far as points as compared to time on the floor. Thompson picking up the dribble, gives it over to Wallace. Wallace bringing it down low, swatted away by Como, but there is a foul. And let's see who it's charged to. Como and Purifoy were there. And it is going to be Como. So the foul on Como. Wallace shooting an 58% free throw shooter. Wallace, one of 3 Tigers that have started every game this year. Thompson, Wallace, and Jeffries are the trio of Tigers who have been on the floor to begin each game this season for MMI. 1 of 2 goes Wallace. Purifoy off the rim from the free throw line. Whitehurst able to get the rebound and bring it back to the glass. Stolen away by Pippen. That's jammed in by Washington. Coyotes have opened up a 17-point lead. Thompson with a miss, tossed to the other end of the floor. Washington wanted another jam, this one denied on the foul. So Washington shooting 2. Coyotes with an opportunity to open up a 20-point lead. But Washington missing the first of 2. One of 2. Coyotes at the moment will have to settle for a 19-point advantage. Thompson picking up the dribble, gives it over to Wallace. And with the 2 is Owens. By the way, the halftime show, JUCO Rush, about a 30-minute show. You saw roughly 15 minutes of it. The rest of it available on YouTube. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel. Wallace dropping in 2. Timeout on the floor asked for by the Tigers. And let's see if the officials opt to turn it into the media timeout. Yeah, I think so. 30-second break, and I believe the officials just said, heck, let's make it a media timeout. We'll do it too.
We are the Pack. We are Coyotes. We are Coastal Alabama. This is where you'll thrive.
Whitehurst with it out front as we get back to the action. Coming out of the Tiger timeout. Whitehurst with a baseline move. Rebounded by Washington, and he's fouled from the backside by Owens. Well, maybe we didn't combine the media timeout with the prior one. We're taking it now with 14:58 left to play.
University of Alabama Online, where legends log in. A tradition of excellence. Decades of experience in distance learning. Empowering students of all ages. More than 90 degree and certificate programs to advance your career. UA Online. Flexible, affordable, legendary. Let your computer be your campus. Visit online.ua.edu.
The Cooper Center on the campus of Coastal Alabama North. Thanks so much to Daniel Head, the ADs of all the Coastals, for the opportunity to bring you coverage. Volleyball in the fall, here late fall, early winter. Basketball and spring, it'll be softball and baseball. As Washington goes to the stripe. And again, a reminder, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you don't mind. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and Blue Skies. Washington, who played in 3 of the first 8 games of the year, sat out 5 games with an injury, back tonight. And the Coyotes welcome him back with open arms. Coyotes trying to improve their mark against ACCC teams to 2-2 on the year. Into the corner, off the rim. The miss by Butler. Three ball. Whitehurst can't get it. Stevens put back not there, tipped out. It is grabbed by Fitch. And Fitch for 2. Also on the floor is Pippins. And it's Pippins who's got it out front. From the timeline, Pippins walks into the top of the key with the shot clock to 6. Into the corner to Whitehurst, long 2. Rebounded by Wallace. Into the corner. Childs taking it baseline. Wallace traveled with it. And it will be Coyote basketball. Couple of games coming up on Saturday. 2 o'clock we'll be here for Florida Gateway and the Coyotes. And then at 7:30, we are headed down to Bay Minette, Coastal South, and the University of Mobile's JV. Baseline move for 2 by Whitehurst. Little underhanded shot, not good, but there is a whistle and foul. Stevens charged with a personal. And it'll be Jeffrey shooting. Inside 13 to go. Best offensive output of the year for MMI, 98 against Wallace Hansford. Their smallest output was 65, scored against Northeast Mississippi. Into the corner, 3-ball from Finch off the rim. Washington's put back good, and there was a foul as well. So Washington shooting. 20-point lead. Largest of the game, now 21. And an offensive foul on Wallace. Coyotes to put it in play from the far sidelines. And that has got Jamarcus Williams coming into the game. He is tied for the number 4 spot in the conference in rebounding, 6.9 per game. That was kicked out of bounds. And that's got us inside 12. First dead ball at that point is your media timeout in a 21-point game.
When you're starting something new, it's never easy. You're going to make mistakes. You'll doubt yourself. But you're in a place that wants you to succeed, thrive. And soon, it will just start to feel right. Suddenly, you'll get it. Your fear will turn to confidence. First-time tasks become second nature. And what seemed impossible is right in front of your eyes. Because once the light bulb goes on, there's no turning back. You may wonder how you got here, and be glad you did. That's Coastal Alabama. This is where you'll thrive.
cheerleading squad here tonight at Coastal North. As we come out of the media timeout, Washington missed opportunity, then a made one. Lost in the paint, picked up by Lewis. I make that Stevens, and Stevens to Pippins. Coyotes have opened up a 25-point lead and appear poised to add to it. And you got a foul. Somebody pushed from the backside, and I'm assuming that is going to be whoever's coming out with Durant coming in. And that whoever is Pippen. Thompson back turn to Washington. Lost by Williams. And a whistle on the way down. Foul called on Thompson. Well, he's got to be nearing the limit. Well, we're going to bring it in again. And that is with a readjustment apparently to the shot clock. Putting it at 24. Hand it over to Washington. Washington with a miss, but drew the foul. Xavier Butler committing the personal. And Washington back at the line. Last outing for the Coyotes, a win. They knocked off Delgado 78-41. Looking to make it 2 in a row. And to go 1-0 in the conference and above 500 overall. And for MMI, it is a tall hill to climb, not an impossible one, but now by 26 with 10:35 to go. That's a difficult one. Off the glass, not there. Rebounded by Beasley, who is checked into the lineup for the Coyotes. Also in is Durant. And there is another foul. Jeffries, the guilty party. And guess who's back of the line? Washington has been here frequently in the second half. That is kicked. Tigers will maintain possession. Almost to the midpoint in the second half. Wallace to Butler. Butler in the paint. Tipped away by Durant. And Durant lays it in on the opposite end of the floor. Laid in by Thompson. Backing in, Washington lost into the paint. It is picked up by Wallace. Able to get a hand on it was Whitehurst, and that may have distracted the shot of Jeffries. Back to Durant, top side, Whitehurst. Whitehurst from the elbow for two. Coyotes by 29. Thompson in the paint. And he's stuck it right between the rim and the window, but drew the foul in the process. Coyotes averaging 70 a game. I think they're going to make that. I think they're going to hit that average and then some. MMI averaging 80 per contest. Going to have to crank it up in the final 8:47 to hit the average. Beasley into the game. Washington out for the Coyotes. Giles back in while Jeffries comes out for MMI. Purifoy, talk about somebody that's been taking advantage of the minutes he's had on the floor. Came into the ball game averaging 10 a game. He's definitely got that and more. Whipped into Purifoy, leans in off the glass. Williams with the rebound. Three from Thompson short. Purifoy tracks it down. Brings it to the glass, misfires. Got it back, puts it up and in, and draws the foul. So Purifoy to shoot. I think he'll do it after we take a break. Big lead for the Coyotes, 7:42 left to play.
Frustrated. She's having trouble with her defensive player. Look at this sweet pass behind the back for two on the assist.
And that one is hit on a rope to center field. Watch that one. And it is, oh, what a great diving catch by the center field.
And in that game, it was basically a running back by committee. I mean, you had a lot of guys carrying the football. Is that the protocol for the upcoming season for the backfield of Jackson State?
It's a really nice pitch to get the ground ball double play. Second one.
6-5 is your final. East Georgia advances to the championship game.
Purifoy capping off a three, and he will knock it down. Thompson with a lay-in. Durant going to the other end of the floor. Coyotes trying to improve their home mark to 3-2. Meanwhile, MMI was hoping to avoid an 0-5 road record. From the top of the key, Fitch off the rim. Tipped away by Williams. Thompson. Whitehurst able to come down with a loose ball. The alley-oop and the jam by Purifoy. Well, how about that? Purifoy, who has had a heck of a night. .9 game, 6:39 to play. Welcome to December, by the way. You do realize we're not that far removed from baseball and softball. That'll be about a month and a half away, latter part of January. Durant knocking down the three. I think a Tiger accidentally stepped on Durant's foot, but apparently it's okay. Purifoy, another two. Well, do you remember who the, can I say idiot, was in the second half who said the odds were against the Coyotes in hitting 90? They just might. 10 away. 5:44 to play. Had 37 at halftime, but have cranked it up in half number 2. And this MMI squad that has allowed 7 teams to score 100. Could the Coyotes be the 8th? I'm not thinking that's a long shot anymore after this spurt of points for the Coyotes. Whitehurst near the elbow, off the rim. Thompson into the corner. Baseline move by Butler. And there was a push to the back by Beasley. So the bucket counts and Wallace will shoot. Games this week only Tuesday and Saturday. Next week, full slate of games. I think we've got games every night except Saturday next week. Durant with it out front to Fitch. Back over to Durant. Into the corner to Whitehurst for 3. He's got it. Trying to match it on the other end of the floor. In and out for Wallace. And there is a timeout on the floor, I believe. Do have a foul. That is on Thompson. And I thought I heard a coach call for time, but maybe didn't. Yes, Purifoy goes to the line. Purifoy, a 50% free throw shooter, 10 points a game. Definitely more than 10 in this one. And of all varieties. Down low, outside, at the stripe, with the alley-oop. From beyond the arc, you name it. Purifoy coming out of the game. Page checking in. That will drop in. Stevens picking up the foul on the bucket by Wallace. So Wallace shooting a 59% free throw shooter. Number 3 scorer in the conference. He'll cap off the 3. Duncan getting the Coyotes 2 away from that 90. Their highest output of the season. Rebounded by Page. From the corner, in and out with a 3 ball by Lewis. On the other end of the floor, foul committed by Page. Wallace going to the line, and we will have our media timeout. Last one of the ball game. Coyotes up by 31. .326 to go. Coyotes en route to their first conference win of the year. An above 500 mark overall. As that is kicked by Jeffries. And quite possibly their best offensive performance of the year. Put 90 on the board against Southern Union. And have 88 currently. Off the rim. Duncan with a miss. Battle for the loose ball and is handed over to Wallace. Wallace from the stripe. In and out, Reed grabs it. Hands it to Page. Lewis to Duncan into the corner, Reed. Shot clock dwindling from the corner. Lewis off on the 3 try. And according to the official, it is a shot clock violation. And the MMI coach was like, hey, we were on the fast break out ahead of the Coyotes. Why'd you stop us? Whip to Jeffries off the rim. Page with another rebound. Duncan on the floor with the dribble to Page. And again, the Coyotes running that clock down. Reed dipping the 3 in and out. Lewis is put back over the rim, 90 on the board for the Coyotes, matching their season high. Off the glass with a Wallace 2, Stevens committing the foul. And don't forget, follow us Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. And I think we're going to have that Purifoy Jam on Facebook in a little bit, right after the game. Be looking for it. And if you would share it, like it, we'd love it. Page into the corner, over to Stevens. Back into the corner. Lewis with a miss. Stevens gets it back. Trying to whip it into the corner and drew the foul. So Stevens shooting. The foul is committed by Giles. And with that, you've got the best Coyote performance of the year. Had matched the output against Southern Union with 90, now 92. Into the corner, Butler with a miss. Stevens throwing it away. It is stolen by Wallace. And he'll jam it in for the Tigers. .20 seconds left. Stevens with the screen. Page into the corner. Duncan, long 2, drew the foul. And Duncan to the stripe. Don't forget, back here on Saturday, 2 o'clock, Florida Gateway. Then down to Bay Minette at 7:30 Saturday night. University of Mobile's JV. All right here. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. Came in needing 19 to hit 5,400. And when you sign up, you get access to not just games, interviews, shows, and a whole lot more. Off the rim with the final shot of the game, and this one is over. Coyotes in their conference season opener, knocking off the Tigers by a 94-62 final. And running that losing streak for the Tigers to 12. The win streak for the Coyotes to 2. Coyotes now 3-2 at home, 5-4 overall. Winners of 2 straight. Meanwhile, on the road, MMI 0-5, 0-12 overall, 0-2 in the conference. And, of course, where the Coyotes are concerned, most important stat of the night, the 1-0 conference mark. Thanks so much for watching our coverage. Be sure to check out basketball on Saturday from here and from Bay Minette. And again, subscribe, follow, befriend, and, of course, the Purifoy Alley-oop. Like and share if you don't mind. We'll see you Saturday right back here. Thanks so much for watching. For all of us with JockJive and with Coastal Alabama, I'm Robert Williamson. So long, everybody.